Health isn't something that just happens. It's something we can create as well. I know that many of you might be upset about this because we have been made victims of our health. We have been become, if you get a diagnosis or whatever, it's the diagnosis's fault, not anything that we've done. And so I want to make sure that when you listen to this class today, that in your heart you know this isn't about judgment or that we're trying to make you feel bad if you do have a diagnosis. Rather, it's to empower you so that you can make the best choices for you. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because that's what we're going to be discussing today. I will be speaking to you about how to create a mindset of health, how to create the health that you want. Now, I know that sometimes you say it's beyond my control, and maybe it is beyond your control. But what if there's something you can do to make those symptoms be less, to improve your health in any way, to improve in any way, shape, or form what you want. Are you curious? That is the only way you can enter the classroom today because I am encouraging you to be curious instead of critical. Get beyond the judgment of, I will never be well again. I will always have to take this pill. I will always have this diagnosis. But what if we can dream, dream big, and these dreams become our reality? Well, today in the classroom, you better have your pen, your paper, because we're going to take lots of notes together. I assure you of that, because many of us do not know these new truths. So, are you ready? Get your pens, papers, and let's continue to learn together.
And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here, waiting for you.
Hi, my name is Lillian McDermott, and I am a certified life coach. I am a certified holistic cancer coach and the host of the Lillian McDermott radio show, Classroom. If this is your first time in the classroom, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide natural ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening and viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Well, yes, here we are. We're trying to live the life of our dreams. And the event on November 1st, the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit for Cancer and Autoimmune Disease, is a place we're going to all come together, learn, and grow. And hopefully, by the time you're done with this event and you've tried different healing modalities that are natural and less invasive in your body, that you've met the vendors that are offering supplements and other solutions for you to help your life and create what you want. And all the people that are there that will share their stories of transformation, of being curious, or regret or remorse that they've tried a certain path and they didn't know about this path. Well, oh, and also, you can, if you are not able to join us physically, we do have a virtual component. We'd rather you come physically. If you can come down, please come down. But if you, or up, wherever you live, just come and join us. I don't care how you get there if you can. But we have the virtual component. And for those of you you don't have to watch live, you can watch at any time because a lot of people from overseas have replied to us and said, I just can't make it for a one-day event, but can you offer a virtual event? So we heard you, we are offering it, but if you could come, please join us because the energy that is felt in the room is just so palpable. You will walk away with a plan. You will walk away being encouraged to be your own MD, your own medical detective, to take that critical thinking that has helped us in our business, with our families, with our dealings, our negotiations, whatever it is, are those gut instincts, that voice within to help us be prosperous also in our health, because we kind of like put that aside. So, um, I know that there's a lot of people that are very successful. They're very successful in their careers, but maybe their marriages are failing. They might be very successful with their spirit, mind, and body, but their finances are failing. There may be people that have their act together, they are enjoying life, but when behind closed doors they realize their children aren't speaking to them, or a good friend hasn't spoken to them, or they're not speaking to the people that meant a lot in their life. All of these things, and also giving back to the world, all these things are so important to our well-being. It's not just take that pill and it will cure your ill. It's about living the life that is balanced, that is living that life that you can, that when, like just yesterday, I went to a memorial service, and the wonderful things they said about this individual were all true, all true. And they were beautiful, beautiful things. And I want that to happen to me too. I want for the people that knew me the best, that loved me, to say, wow, what a loss we have right now because they're not with us anymore. That's the kind of life that creates wellness, spirit, mind, and body. And so, if you're curious, then I am so excited that you're here. Because when I speak to you, when I do these one-on-ones with you, I speak to you from my heart. Yes, I might have a little template, but I sometimes rarely look at it because I want God to speak to me, through me, to you. And I may say it a certain way, but you might hear it a different way. That's not me, that's God speaking to you. So if you stumbled upon this classroom today, just know it is no accident. You were meant to hear these truths. What are you going to do with them? I don't know. You tell me. And you can always reach me at whenyouneedafriend.com, Lily at whenyouneedafriend.com, or text me at 407-373-5959. And yes, we're going to be giving away 2 more tickets for you to attend the I Am the Solution regular admission, to attend the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit that we're so excited about. I want you to understand this is the first year that we attach the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit from prevention to now reversal and reducing recurrence. Why? Because this is a truth that I had a hard time saying and accepting. As I was giving my talk for the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit, for this, the first talk on the mindset of health, I was literally having a conversation in my head. Yes, we had about 160 people there, but that wasn't a sellout crowd, sold out crowd, not a sellout crowd, but a sold out crowd. We could have had probably, 50, 60 more people, maybe even 100 more people. And that would have been wonderful. And as I am giving this talk and I'm speaking about prevention, I'm looking at all these healthy people. Yeah, maybe they had some, underlying conditions, but they were really proactive because it is a lot easier to have natural health when you are proactive in the many ways that you can be. But what happens is you get a diagnosis, you're proactive, and then when that diagnosis is past you and now you've worked through it, we go back to what got us sick in the first place. So as I'm doing this talk, I'm looking at all these people that were like, yes, I want to prevent dis-ease. That's dysfunction to ease. I want to prevent dysfunction. I want to move towards ease in my body. It is amazing how forgiving our body is when we give it what it needs. But what you hear in the world, in the medical profession, whether it's a practitioner, MD, a DO, a DC, a ND, or just a coach, a health coach is, oh, you have this diagnosis, here's the pill. You have this diagnosis, here's the pill. But what's really happening is your body is speaking to you, right? So, and it's saying, ooh, this is failing me right now. But instead of taking the pill when you go to the doctor, you have constipation, let me give you this pill. Now, a month later, that constipation or that heart condition now has other symptoms that they're giving you another pill for. Before you know it, you're on 10, 15 pills. And I assure you, there has not been one study, hear me well, there's not been one study that takes all the pills that you use and create a side effect. What could happen if you have a side effect? Maybe one pill, maybe two pills, but not 10 pills, not five pills. They don't know what's going to happen because everybody is individual. So I'm giving this talk and I'm having this conversation in my head, my good Lily and ego Lily. Okay, ego Lily needs to stick to the plan. Essence Lily is going, oh man, I need to share this conversation with you. And I stopped. Essence Lily wins every time. So I said, I have just got to tell you the conversation I'm having in my head right now. As I look into this room, I see lots of people that are curious and open, and they are preventing any disease and they are focusing on health. But I really want to speak to those who are sick, who could use this information. And I declare today from this podium, this was over a year ago, I declare today that the next I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit is going to focus on cancer and autoimmune disease because how many of us here know someone with cancer or autoimmune disease? Even if it's you, raise your hand. Everybody raised their hand. Everybody. We all know somebody that we would love to take their health and kind of like work with them and say, hey, did you know if you could do this, if you did this, you would get well? Oh no, my doctor said I can't do vitamin C if I do chemo. I was told by my practitioner that if I take this pill for autoimmune condition, I can't do vitamin C. I can't do glutathione. I can't do all these other things. Is it really true? I don't know. We'll see. This is where curiosity pays. So here we are, a year and 6 months or 7 months later, the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit. And again, I'm giving away 2 tickets. You can text me at 407-373-5959. But here's the deal. You must be available November 1st from the moment we open our doors to the moment we close our doors because I want someone who really wants to be there. And so I'm giving away 2 tickets. If you just want one ticket, then the next person that texts me and we put their name in the basket and we pick their name, I will call them as well. So here we are, the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit. I'm still going to be the speaker on the mindset of health and how we can do this. But before that, I wanted to have a one-on-one with you, my friend, you, my friend, and talk to you about how to create this health. But first, you need to understand your mind. And so I want to show you, I've got a tickled throat and I need to put this aside. So I'm going to show you these two. I bought a couple days ago, I bought these beautiful sunflowers, just these beautiful flowers, sunflowers that look like they were about to open. Now it's been a few days and yes, I've got some. And so I'm going to show you this one right here. Look how beautiful this one is, right? This one is going to receive the sun. It's going to receive everything that it comes to it because it's now open. It's open. But here's this one. And I'm like, gosh, what's happening to this plant? It's the same plant, but it hasn't even opened, or same flower, same batch. It hasn't even opened. Why? And I looked at it and I thought, wow, this is exactly what I'm going to be talking about today. This is what I want. This is who I want to be. I want to be open and I want to keep opening because this is going to be bigger and bigger and open, more open, and it's going to learn more and going to experience more. It's going to receive more nutrients from the sun. But this one just hasn't opened itself yet. So I wanted to point this out that in life sometimes, I'm just going to put this aside here, put it aside and start all over you because I looked at those plants this morning and I said, wow, look at that closed flower. We can be closed flowers. And I want for all of us to bloom as we're being planted and grounded. So here are some new truths that you have heard in the classroom before. And honestly, it takes a good 7, 8, maybe 9. Some of you are slow and very close. It might take 12 times to hear some new truths and open you to, hmm, oh, is that true? Is it real? Let me do my own research. Is Lily talking smack? Or is she talking crap? Or is this true? I want all of you to question everything we discuss so that you can research it yourself and not just repeat what I say like what we've been taught to do when we listen to the mainstream media. I want us all of us, to say, you know what? I heard this in the Lillian McDermott radio show classroom, and I am not going to repeat it until I verify it. Let me do some research. Let me go here and go beyond the first couple of pages because, and more than a couple of pages. In order for you to learn about natural health now, you've got to really dive in. You really have to ask the specific questions. Now with AI, I pray that it's not going to be geared towards allopathic only, that it will also help you with solutions that are natural, holistic, um, um, integrative, functional, and I pray that it will also incorporate that and that there will be AIs out there that will was for supplements or allopathic or natural, whatever, that we can just dive into and say, okay, well, this is what's really going on in this genre or this area, so that you can make an informed choice and then make your decision. I just had a conversation with someone today that said, yes, I regret going the allopathic way through cancer. I was surprised because usually when somebody does it and survives it, they're all in. This is what did it. But did you know that there are other components as to why? As a certified holistic cancer coach, my intake questionnaire is one-on-one. I'm asking you questions, I'm hearing your answers, and I'm writing it down. What's your why? Why do you want to survive? Because I'm here to tell you that there are people that will use a diagnosis or a disease to check out and leave this earth. I am telling you the honest truth. I know it sounds harsh, but I got to understand that where are you in this process? Do you want to check out or are you finally checking in? Are you going to take your health back? Are you going to be your own MD, your own medical detective? So here are some truths that you need to know about your mind and how the mindset, you can work with your mind or the mind will work against you. Why? Because you are a human tape recorder from the moment you are conceived. And I always say it's right here. This is where our human tape recorder device is, our pituitary that absorbs everything. And from that moment, you're picking up images, you're hearing things, and those become later on, the subconscious thought in your brain that you didn't even know about was there. These are thoughts that have been in us since the moment we were born. They're the thoughts that taught us how to ride a bike, how to love, how to smile, how to kiss, how to feel love, how to be loved, how to, not put your finger in a socket or else you'll get shocked, how to look both ways before you cross the road because you might get killed. There are so many different ways that we are being programmed as a child. And then when you go to school, you are told you're different. There's something wrong with you. You're not smart. You're not skinny enough. You're not pretty enough. And all these thoughts and all these emotions are being stored in that human tape recording in your brain. Now, if I were to slice your brain open, that I would never do, but if someone who is qualified can slice your brain open, there would be no thought in there. Nobody could see anything in there. How does it happen? Wow. It is something that you don't even have to worry about. You don't have to worry about breathing. You don't have to worry about driving your car when all of a sudden you doze off because you know how to drive your car. Of course, you have to worry about that. But like I'm talking about when you're in thought, like you can have a conversation and you can still drive, is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about going, oh, crash, because that's what will happen. When we're too distracted, we will crash. So that you know that these thoughts that we have in our head, 90% of them are repetitive. These are thoughts that we had the day before, the day before, the day before, and you keep on going to maybe preconception. And that's the work of Michelle Lamasa Dawson that we talk about for New German medicine and the different courses that she does and that she helps without recall healing, with heat recall healing. So those are the connections that we can make. Now, here's the crazy thing is that 80% of our thoughts are negative. What could go wrong? The worst case scenario. You got this diagnosis, you're going to die. Those are running in our mind. We don't even know this is happening. But you can identify these thoughts. You can stop these thoughts. You can rewrite the program and now start focusing on health. Because here's the deal. When you think something, that first it's a thought, and then that thought evokes a feeling, and that feeling evokes action or inaction. So where do you get to start living your health, where you get to start living your life, are in those thoughts. And I've heard people call it toxic positivity, and making fun of someone that has a positive mindset. I'm not talking about Pollyanna here. I am talking about understanding that everything has a good outcome, everything could have a negative outcome. And it is being an equal opportunity for action, which is I'm going to think about, if I want to think about the worst case scenario, I must stop and say, if I choose this path or another path, what could happen? What is the best case scenario here that could happen? So, with that in mind, I want to talk a little bit more about the brain and dive a little deeper into it. So, the brain doesn't understand the difference between do or don't. It focuses on what you're focusing on. So, if you say, I don't want to be an alcoholic, the brain doesn't recognize don't. It recognizes just whatever you're focusing on. So, if you don't want to be an alcoholic, the best way to rephrase that would be, I want to be sober. Do you see the difference? I don't want to be alcoholic, you're focusing on alcoholism. If you say, I want to be sober, then you're focusing on being sober. First it's a thought, then it's a feeling, then it's an action. Of course, there's other things that need to follow that thought and that action. There's other things. It just doesn't use like, I'm going to be sober. I'm going to be sober. Hey, let's go to the bar and meet at 2 o'clock and have a drink. That doesn't align. I'm talking about once you think it, you align your intentions with your feelings and your actions, okay? The second one is the brain doesn't know the difference between past or future. So if you're thinking about the past, you are basically uh, depressed because when you're thinking about the past, unless it's a fond memory or something like that, you're pretty much thinking about what you regret, what you wish could be different. I wish this wouldn't have happened. When you're dwelling on that, then it will lead to depression. When you're focused on the future, then like, oh, how am I going to pay my bills? I just lost my job. I cannot, when you're focusing on the future, what's going to happen in the future, that will lead to anxiety. So the brain doesn't know that you're thinking in the past or that you're thinking about the future. It assumes it's happening right now. So that's why people get depressed. That's why they can't shake it. So that's the thinking about it. First, we got to change it. What are those thoughts? Identify those thoughts, and it will help you plan and create the life that you want. That's number two. Number three, the brain doesn't know the difference between fact or fiction. So if you are watching a scary movie or a movie about war or a movie about drama or watching a show on backstabbing and murders and crimes and all those things, your brain is not understanding that you're watching a movie. Yes, you do. You know you're watching a movie, but your body is thinking it is happening to you. It doesn't know it's fact. It doesn't know it's fiction. It assumes. So your body starts just eh, like whatever enzymes or the anxiety or whatever is happening in your body, those chemical reactions are happening to you. That's why you can cry when there's something beautiful or somebody dies or they're saying something nice about somebody and you're watching a fictional movie, you're crying with them. Or if somebody gets hurt or being run, they're chasing after them. They're also chasing after you. Your body doesn't recognize the difference. You might think you're handling this very well and you're drawn to that drama, but what you're doing is you're hurting your body. I will refuse to watch a movie about murders and about just all this slasher gasher horror movies, demonic movies. I refuse to watch any of those. I feel sorry for my husband who once in a while wants to watch an action movie. Like I will watch those, but it has to be like during the day. I can't process it at night. Your body still stays anxious. So we normally watch romantic comedies or, some dramas, but not the kind that are like killing and murdering and all that stuff. And that's because the body doesn't know if that it's looking at fact or fiction. The brain is not sending the right signals to the body because the body is like going, oh my gosh, I'm being chased right now, or I'm being, there's double. That's why I hardly ever watch the news. And if I do, I listen to it or read it, and it's a one and done. Okay, and the last thing is that your body doesn't know who it's angry with. You can tell me a story about how somebody hurt you, but the reality is that someone that you're holding a grudge and all those things, that right there is going to, you might be wishing somebody harm or somebody harmed you, and you're telling the story, telling the story, telling the story, being angry every time you say the story. And the body doesn't know who it's angry with. It assumes it is you. So all the stories that you're telling about past harm, past traumas, you're basically re-injuring yourself. So understanding how the mindset works, and I want to encourage you to listen to this first part over and over and over again. So you get it that whenever there's something that's recurring in your life, whether it's being concerned about being sick, being concerned about a symptom, being concerned about, losing your job or being homeless or being all these thoughts, you can write them down and rewrite them in a way that will bless your body. And by the way, if you are holding on to anger and you refuse to forgive, please know that 5 minutes of anger suppresses your immune system for 8 hours. And who's angry for 5 minutes? Some people are angry for 20 years. And then they wonder why they're sick, why they're lonely, why it is that their life didn't turn out the way they wanted. Remember, I am not saying that you need to condone the behavior, but you forgive yourself. You forgive yourself, you forgive the other person, or you're not condoning the behavior, but you're basically forgiving yourself. Whether it's because you blame yourself that you got taken advantage of. You just never know what the thought process is behind when somebody is hurt. And every time you tell the story, you're re-injuring yourself because the body doesn't know the difference between the past, fact or fiction, the past, the present, the do or the don't. So work with your brain to start achieving the life that you want. Does that make sense? And this is what we talk about. This is the kind of ownership that we talk about in the classroom. And so I want to encourage you all to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. While you're there, please subscribe to the website. Like and follow me on all social media. When you subscribe to the website, you will have every single person that's a teacher in the classroom. You will have their name. You can just click on their name. It'll take you to their page so that you can start learning and growing with them as well. This is where we take responsibility for our life. This is where we say, you know what? That doctor may have said that I have this condition, but it's not my condition. It is a symptom that I'm having right now that I need to like take ownership for. What is causing the symptom? This is what we take why it's so important for us to really be open, be that open sunflower that you're just ready to take it all in. And it is amazing what happens to us when we open ourselves in. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And when the teacher is ready, the student appears as well. But remember, the teacher is not responsible to save you. That's God's job. Only God can do that. So don't give your power away because that God that saves is in you. It's in me. It's in all of us. So when you go to whenyouneedafriend.com, there are the sponsors page, there's my Shop Now bag, there is opportunities for you to be an enrolled student in the classroom and donate, whether it's $1 or $1,000 a month, a one-time donation. We need all the help that you can get. Whether it's just sharing this video today and saying, you know, I really didn't know she was going to be talking about, the mindset and the brain. She's talked about this before, but for some reason, it really affected me today. Share it with somebody that you love. Maybe this will start a dialogue and how now we can start improving our life. And by the way, I am a certified life coach, a certified holistic cancer coach. If this is not enough for you, just reach out. Go to whenyouneedafriend.com and go to my coaching and then book a session or book a package. There's so many different ways that we can reconnect. Another way is that you attend the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit for Cancer and Autoimmune Dis-Ease. If you currently have a diagnosis or you have a symptom that you are choosing to ignore and you know, yes, I need to go to a doctor, but no, I don't have the time to go to a doctor. Maybe it's time for you to learn, perhaps there's certain things that are happening in your body that you can, maybe by changing your lifestyle, by changing your diet, by changing whatever it is, then you'll start feeling better. Then if it doesn't work out, just then go to the doctor or go to the doctor and hear what the doctor has to say and still do something natural to prevent before you try the pill that could give you long-term side effects, which is what the conversation that I had with this individual that you know, they chose the allopathic route. They had cancer, chose the allopathic route, and said, boy, do I regret it. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do this. As a certified holistic cancer coach, I am here to support whatever path you decide to take, honestly. As difficult as that was before I became a coach, now I understand the importance of it, the mindset. you know, whatever path you choose, that's the path that's going to save. That's the path that's going to help you. And so here are some options for you. So anyway, so I just want to make sure that you realize that the November 1st, I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit, we're giving 2 tickets away, or if you want just one, we'll call the next person in the winner's basket that gets selected to attend this event. This event is going to have incredible healers, teachers, Dr. Joe Furman, Dr. Thomas Levy, Dr. Mark Rosenberg. We'll have Sylvie Biljansky. Then I'll be a speaker, of course, but Michael Legal, Renee Hahn, which you've met her as well in the past classroom. She does really, really well in the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit because a healthy spine is a healthy body. And so she will share a little bit about that. And then Holly Gilbert, I'm going to tell you, the Drip Bar, I went on a cruise just recently, and I always get sick when I go on these cruises and when I come back. Not when I'm in the cruise. When I come back, I'm exhausted, and that night I am out for a whole week sick. This year, I went to the Drip Bar and Melbourne. There's another one in Orlando, Lake Nona area. And I had 15 grams of vitamin C. I also had glutathione, vitamin D shot, and I think vitamin B. I don't remember what else I had. But when I came back, my husband was sick. The people we were with were sick, and I remained healthy. The only thing Robert and I did differently was that he absolutely 100% had didn't have the drip. He didn't have the drip from the Drip Bar. We did do the bioactive silver shots every day. We did all those things in common. We made sure we rested. We made sure we had plenty of sun. We did all those wonderful things. We used colloidal silver to clean our hands, but he still got sick. And I am still healthy. I am excited about it. About a week after I came back from the cruise, I went back to the Drip Bar and I did 25 grams of vitamin C because I was beginning to feel a tickly in my throat. And I just said, I've been having cramping on my legs. And so I did magnesium, and I did also B vitamins as well as 25 grams of vitamin C. Thank God. Thank God that this is something that I was able to opt for. And I'm excited about it. I really am. And so I found a new health tool that will also be at the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit for Cancer and Autoimmune Disease. By the way, vitamin C has been equated to a form of the strength of that chemotherapy when it comes to dealing with cancer and autoimmune conditions. Are you curious about it? I encourage you to dive into it. And then last but not least, Dr. John Silva. Dr. John Silva will be there, and he will be doing some testing for neurofeedback and scheduling time for you to meet with them, I think at a later date. So he's going to be doing testing and stuff because when you have a condition, you might be taking medications that may be creating fogginess and brain fog, whatever it is. He is there to help with that. He's also going to be speaking. So there's just so many different ways to stay well. There's so many different ways to be your own MD, your own medical detective. So why am I sick? That's the question. Why am I sick? If you really take a look at why we get sick, is because we're focusing on being sick. I don't want to get 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 the conditions that my mom had, my dad had. I don't want to get whatever you have. I don't. We already know don't doesn't work. So I am healthy. So every time somebody was coughing in the car when we were on our way back from Miami, the thought was, I am healthy. Some people can't even say that. I remember one time I was talking to someone that I had just met. She's like, oh man, I think I'm getting sick. I don't want to get sick. And I said, well, if you don't want to get sick, what do you want? And she said, to not be sick. I said, well, how can you say that without saying don't and saying do? She couldn't tell me. She couldn't tell me. And so I said, well, how about if you say, I am healthy? I want to be healthy. My body is a healing machine. What about that? God just blesses every cell in my body. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to get sick, but chances are you will stay healthy. There's an exception to every rule because here's the thing that we do. We say, yeah, I'm not going to get sick. Maybe, like in the back of your head, you're going, yeah, I don't really believe that. I really don't believe it. And if you don't believe it, then you will create what you believe. And that's why the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit is so important for all of us. People say, I can't afford to go. Well, if you can't afford to go, I'm giving 2 tickets away. So you can choose to text me at 407-373-5959 because you can attend on November 1st all day we open our doors at 8 o'clock in the morning, but our first speaker is at 9, our greeting, so if you get there early, you can spend time with the vendors, you can spend time with the speakers, you can just spend time with the people that are there, get your seat, get situated, check out all the booths, and like make your plan. This is where I'm going to go. This is where I'm going to treat. This is what I'm going to do. And if you can, this is not the type of an event that you get to come for an hour or two. I mean, if you do that, it's a waste of your money. It's a waste of your time because health is a spirit, mind, and body. It's all, it affects everything. So we're going to learn a little bit about every aspect of our life, including the mindset of health, which I will be your speaker for that one. So I want to encourage you to be that open flower, bloom wherever you are planted. Know that you are the solution. The I am is the God in me who wants me to prosper, who wants me to be healthy, who gives me everything that I need when I need it. That's the I am. The solution is an acronym to take your health back. It's an acronym to take your health back. So when you think about my daily habits, you know, there are times that I'm really good with my daily habits. And there are other times where I feel so good that I'm just not going to do it today. I'm not going to do it today. Maybe I won't do it. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, a year's gone by and I haven't meditated or I haven't journaled can you relate? Can you relate to like knowing something really works, something is very good for you, and then you start feeling really good and then you go back to your old ways? Why is that? Why do we go back to our old ways? We get a diagnosis, we get the all clear sign because we're working so hard to create health. And then once we get that diagnosis, oh, the first thing I want to do is I want to get some French fries and a burger and all that. And hey, listen, if you want to have that, eat it with the gusto that you have. But I'm telling you, those combinations will act against you. Yesterday, I went to a memorial service. They had chicken sandwiches. Well, fortunately, I'm allergic to wheat, so I couldn't have it as a sandwich. And so I asked if they could create one without the bread. That was so delicious. It was on a bed of arugula. It was delicious. Did I feel like I missed out on bread? Maybe 15 years ago I would have, but not today. Because I know that those carbs aren't my friends. And as you get older, you want your diet to be more pristine. I'm not talking about being inflexible. There are times where I'll have a portobello mushroom burger, but my buns are very, very thin. My bread buns. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that you do need to have some flexibility. I, you know, Once in a while you take a vacation day. I don't call them a cheat day because anything you do in deceit is not good. So remember, the thoughts in your head create an action. The feelings, there's a thought, there's a feeling, there's an action. If I'm going to take a cheat day, Who wants to be a cheat? The brain and the body are in alignment. That same cell that created the brain, created your gut, created your heart, started with a single cell that multiplied and then multiplied and then multiplied and then multiplied. And next thing you know, you are the brain, your brain is the universe. It's the control center of the trillions of cells that is your universe. What are you telling those cells to do? What are you telling those cells to do? Are you telling those cells, we're going to get well? I remember one time my husband, when I learned this truth, um, I was, from now on, I am well. I am healthy. The world is fine. And so my husband would say, "Oh, I know that have a cold or your throat is hurting or whatever. How are you feeling? Or coughing or whatever. How are you feeling?" I'd say, "I am well. My body is a healing machine. I am getting better every day in every way." And I remember his reply to me was, "Fine, I'm never going to ask you to tell me the truth." What is truth? What was the truth? Was the truth that I was getting sicker, that I felt bad, that my nose was congested, my lungs were congested? Was that the truth? Or was the truth also that my body is a healing machine? I'm getting better in every way. What are you making truth in your life? See, we go down the worst case scenario. And there is a price and there is a payoff to being sick. The price is you cannot do what you want to do. Sometimes it is truly life-changing. The payoff is that you don't have to do what you don't want to do because people feel sorry for you. Now you have, that coddling that we all long for. But if you take your health back and you say, "Man, I'd rather be healthy and be independent and maybe not have anybody check in on me than be sick and have everybody coddle me. I want to be healthy. I want to be healthy." Very seldom you'll see a post on my Facebook page saying, "I'm sick. I need, yes, I do tell my people, pray, just pray. Pray for me. Pray for me. Ask, thank God for my healing. Thank God for this, for that." But I'm not going to write a dissertation of everything that is wrong in my body. That's just me. Because I know that every time I write about it, every time I tell somebody about it, my back hurts, my hip hurts, my shoulders hurt, my, head, shoulders, knees and toes, all those things. I know that every time I revisit that, I am re-injuring myself. I am stunting my healing. I know it's an art, right? You're saying, "Oh, that works real good for you, Lily." But for me, I want to be a realist. That's fine. I'm not trying to make you do anything you're not willing to do, but I am giving you a tool that will support you for the rest of your life till you take your final breath. Because we can find the beauty in all of this. I remember prior to my father taking his final breath on this earth and went to sit with God and try to do all the things that he did for us up in heaven. I was diagnosed with COVID. I was positive for it. And now I know that there's different things, and I've talked about that, but I did not want to get anybody sick. If anybody got COVID, then I knew they would look at me as that I spread all the bacteria to my family. So I just wanted to make sure that that didn't happen. So before, because I had some really strong symptoms, I went to my doctor and pulled up in my car. They came out and swabbed my nose, and I was on my way. They were giving my dad his last rites, and I was on my way. And most people said, "Go, Lily, be with your dad. It doesn't matter if you have COVID. Just look through the window." I mean, I was given so much advice, but I knew that if I got anybody sick, I could never live with myself. If I got my mom sick, if I got somebody sick, even if it wasn't COVID and it was a cold or pneumonia or flu or whatever it was, maybe I had a bacteria, a virus, or something. So as I'm driving there, because they knew I was driving to be with my dad, I called my sister up and I said, I'm on my way. And my doctor was calling on the other side. I said, let me call you back. I'm getting my results. And so as I got my results and they said it was positive, I pulled over the next exit and I turned around. I called my sister and I said, Asia, it's positive. And she said, don't worry, Lily. I will do a FaceTime with you. And it was during that time that I really truly appreciated this technology. And it was during that time that God put me in bed. And it was during that time that I was looking at videos of my dad that I was able to put together a beautiful tribute that I have on Facebook and YouTube. By the way, Facebook has removed all my videos. So you can go to BitChute to see them. Not all of them, but what's there. But I'll keep reposting the old ones. Now I'm going to have to go back and repost some of the old ones. And I think they're just only keeping 1 month's worth in Facebook. I don't know all the details, but it's been very difficult to even post anything on Facebook. But I used that time to create the most beautiful tribute for my father. Had I not been diagnosed or told that I had this this symptom turned into whatever, I would have been too busy to do this. But I went through every single picture, every single I'm talking about old pictures that I have had in my garage when we cleaned out their home, when they went into private care, assisted living, and then they went back they moved in with my sister in her guest house. I'm so grateful for that downtime. So even though I had COVID and it kept me from being with my dad and my mom and my siblings during that very, very difficult time, I was able to see the blessing. And if I could leave you with one tool, is that when you get that diagnosis, immediately, God forbid that you ever get one, any diagnosis, any symptom, immediately go back and say, God, I know you will bless me through this. And the blessing came when I found a video where my dad said goodbye to me 2 years prior to, at the exact time, 10:10, that he took his final breath. Because I didn't want to be holding his hand. That was my sister. She wanted that when he took his final breath. I wanted to have a conversation with him where he said, goodbye, Lily. And he did that 2 years prior. Had it not been that I was knocked on my back, and I worked so hard during that time. I used that time. And you know what? I got put on ivermectin. I got put on all these things. And on Monday, so this was Friday, and on Monday, I was holding his hand, symptom free, with no regret. And it was that day, that next day, he waited one more day. And that was the day he took his final breath. And I wasn't with him. My sister was. She wanted to hold his hand. But then that video, when I found out the time of death, that was Daddy saying he loved me too. So you can see that was a difficult situation in my life. And yes, I was sick, but I wasn't going to focus on being sick. I was focused on being healthy. I did everything I could to be healthy, and it worked out. Thank God it worked out. And I was there. And this is the mindset that I want to share with you today. That whenever you find yourself in fear, nothing good will come from that. That's how you will get manipulated. But if you take a step back and say, you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to figure out with God how this diagnosis, symptom, condition, you fill in the blank, will glorify God and bless me is amazing. how things all of a sudden open up for us. We'll start seeing those new truths. We'll start seeing the beauty in everything, even with my mom's dementia. What a great teacher she was. She wasn't going to change her diet. She wasn't going to change her lifestyle. She wasn't going to do all that. And that diabetes 2 turned into diabetes 3. I am doing the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit because of teachers like my mom. She taught me how not to be. And I am so committed to living my life as healthy as I possibly can. I'm not perfect. I am not perfect about it, but I work really diligently to stay true to my belief system so that my children will never have to deal with that, so that the people I love will know these new truths, these things that I have learned. And I'm grateful that God has given me a mic. First, the mic was to sing God's praises, and now it's to sing God's truth, to speak about natural health. Never in a million years would I have considered myself a spokesperson for natural health because I was all about the allopathic way. Now, my registered service mark is you can take a pill or you can take responsibility. Right there. That's where it says. You can take a pill or you can take responsibility. It's not that I'm against the pill. It's that I am for doing everything you can first to achieve that mindset of health that we all want for ourselves. But if that's not what you want, it's time to check ourselves. It's time to check in and say, why would I want to continue the dialogue of poverty, of sickness, of chaos, of drama? Why would I want to continue that dialogue in my life? Why would I want to do that? So I want to encourage you all to do whatever it takes to live the life of your dreams, to create that health that you want in your life, well into your hundreds, well into your hundreds. Say yes to the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit. Say yes to the blessings that God has for you. Say yes. Let your yes be greater than your fear. And I promise you that when your yes is greater than your fear, doors will open to you. There will be so much opportunities for you to learn these new truths, whether it's here in the classroom or some other teacher that I bring into the classroom or at the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit. Do whatever it takes to get there. I don't care how you get there if you can. And please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.